The older I get, the less energy I have for pretending. And I've noticed something strange because of it. The moment, the more honest I become, the more uncomfortable some people seem to be. Not all, but there are enough of people that I started wondering why. We're constantly told to be ourselves, to be authentic, to live our truth. But sometimes the moment you stop pretending, people pull away. And I don't think it's because you're doing anything wrong. I think there is something more to it. A few days ago, I was walking through the city here in Sweden, and I saw people rushing to work, waiting for the buses, looking at their phones, everyone moving in the same direction. And it reminded me how much of life is built around fitting in. It's not because people are bad, not necessarily because they are fake, because fitting in makes life easier. Most of us learn that pretty early. You learn what to say, what not to say, how to avoid being weird, awkward, how to avoid standing out. And honestly, I've done it too. I'm not sitting here to pretend I've always been an authentic person and fearless. No, no, that's not the case. There have been plenty of times when I was quiet because it was easier for me in that moment. Times when I agreed with people even though I didn't really agree. Times when I said yes, when I actually wanted to say no. I think most of us have done it. But eventually I started noticing something. Every time I ignored what actually I thought or what I actually felt, it came with a cost. Not a dramatic problem or a small one, a little bit of mental energy, a little bit of self-respect, a little bit of peace. And over time, all of those small things add up. Maybe you experience similar things. Maybe you experience this too. You leave a conversation and think, why didn't I just say what I really thought, right? Or maybe you agree to something you don't want to, then spend the rest of the day being angry, frustrated, because deep down you know you ignored yourself. And that's the part people don't talk about it very often. Authenticity, isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it's awkward. Sometimes people don't know how to respond to it. And I think that's because authenticity acts like a mirror, not in some dramatic way, just in a way, very human way. When someone is comfortable being themselves, it naturally makes other people think how often them been doing the same thing. I have noticed that the strongest reactions don't usually happen when you're being rude. They happen when you're being honest. When you set a boundary, when you politely disagree, when you stop needing everyone's approval. Oh, that's a freedom. For some people, that's refreshing, but for others, it's uncomfortable. Because whether we admit it or not, most of us care, right? What other people think. I know I do. Probably more than I'd like to admit. But I also realize something. A lot of the pressure we feel doesn't come from society itself. It comes from our fear of being judged by society. And those aren't the same thing. Most people are too busy worrying about themselves to spend much time worrying about us. You spend years editing yourself for an audience that isn't paying really as much attention as we imagine. I find that interesting. The older I get, the more I think authenticity is less about expressing yourself and more about being in a relaxed state, relaxing into who you already are, not performing, not managing everyone's expectations, not trying to win approval from others. But I also realize something. A lot of pressure we feel doesn't come from society itself. Just being honest and escaping that someone will like you and accepting that some people will like you and some people they won't. Life goes on. The interesting thing is that when you stop chasing approval of others, you will often feel lighter. Not because life becomes easier, no, I'm not saying about that, but because you're no longer carrying the burden of trying to be everything for everyone. When you're authentic, you might lose some approval, but you gain peace of mind. Most important, when you constantly conform to social rules, you might gain approval, but slowly lose connection with yourself. Neither of them is free. Both have a cost. The question is, which cost are you willing to live with? I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever felt pressure to be someone other than just yourself? Just to fit in? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for staying with me and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.